don't hear this message and just think that's somebody else's problem, that's somebody else's business, that's somebody else's vertical. This is not a warning to me. It is a warning to you.
So, Travis, recently in the news, we've seen specifically from the White House, Biden himself has actually warned businesses about cyber attacks. He's actually, the government itself has talked about the importance of protecting your business. So, we want to get into that a little bit today.
I think a lot of people, when they heard that warning, were probably thinking of some of the bigger infrastructure players in the United States. He was talking to them for sure. Energy, banks, healthcare, food and water, transportation, government. Absolutely, he is talking to them, but it doesn't just affect them. Okay, there are smaller players that are at risk. In fact, the smaller players are probably at greater risk in that they're less protected, they have less policy, they have less procedure, they have less funding. Now, granted, it's going to be a lot worse if the utility company gets knocked offline than if your small business that sells, flowers or something, that's not quite as, life, dependent, right, gets knocked out. But there are some, and I want to go into this in a minute, there are some other local businesses that actually have quite a bit to do with our day-to-day lives that really need to consider this warning and need to take it seriously.
This is an article from Politico that I thought was really interesting, and it goes hand in hand with what you were saying. Jen Easterly, the director of cybersecurity and infrastructure security, said we should consider every sector vulnerable. And she said that after they were talking about some of those critical infrastructure, finance, energy, and so that warning, it seems kind of ominous. So, do you want to break that down a little bit when what she may have been saying when she says every
Sure.
sector?
Absolutely. So everybody's exposed to more or less the same threats, right? You might have a specific threat model that applies to your business because, just a certain, if you're dealing with nuclear weapons or something like that, obviously that's a little bit different than somebody else. But what I'm trying to say is that the tools that are used in order to attack a business are usually the same tools. It doesn't matter what the business is. The weaponry, if you will, out there, or the tactics or the strategies, they're common, right? They're phishing attempts, social engineering, okay, taking advantage of exploits. That applies to everybody. So, and the other thing you need to consider is that your business might have more of an impact than you think, or your company or the organization you're a part of might be more critical than you realize because you're in a small town. For instance, if you work for a fire department, okay, you might be thinking, well, this warning is about the talking to the energy sector. Hey, the fire department's pretty important. You should probably make sure your security is up to snuff. Local police departments, healthcare. If you're a hospital, but even if you're not a big hospital, what if you're a clinic? The hospitals handle a lot of problems, but your business probably has a lot of patients with real health problems that need help. And if they can't get help from you or your competition because everybody's been knocked out because nobody's making an effort here to protect themselves, that's going to have a genuine impact on a lot of lives. So this really is an important it's always been an important topic. It's always been something people should take seriously, not just now. It's always been an issue, but they are really driving it home now, and I'm happy they are, which is protect your business, protect no matter who you are, put things in place to protect your company. It matters. And they're pretty serious. If you look at what they're saying, they said these things are coming. These things are going to happen in this country. Okay.
Yeah.
They are. So prepare for it, period. In more than one way, prepare for it with regards to your security, but have a plan in place that some of these things are going to stop working. And how are you going to work around that?
Who should be threatened or worried or be putting something in place to protect themselves against these coming threats?
Sure. So obviously the majority of the threat is with regards to infrastructure that would affect the most amount of people if they were to be exploited, right? So obviously the big targets are always going to be big targets, but small businesses are still targets. And the reason is that again the attacks are the same. Phishing attempts are phishing attempts. You know, social engineering, calling you up on the phone, saying, "Hey, I'm with your IT department, and I want to help you out real quick and get into your computer to fix something," and then blanking out the screen, and then installing a Trojan. That happens to people. That happens to hotels. That happens to manufacturers. That happens to all kinds of. In fact, I want to say this: hospitality gets targeted a lot because you know what you have in hospitality: friendly people, helpful people. They've got a really friendly, helpful attitude, and they're saying, "Oh, you need me to let you know the computer to do this or that? Yeah, no problem. Let me make that available for you," because they're trying to be helpful. They're trained to be helpful. So no, this applies to everybody. The threats are real for everybody. Obviously, the main concern is with everybody's electricity being turned off or fuel not running, working. But think about it real quick. What does your business do? Do you deal with healthcare? Do you deal with food? Do you deal with manufacturing? Do you deal in any kind of local governance? Okay. Education? All of this stuff is a target. So don't hear this message and just think that's somebody else's problem, that's somebody else's business, that's somebody else's vertical. This is not a warning to me. It is a warning to you. It is a warning to all business owners in the United States. And I would say that this has always been true for all business owners globally. Just do a better job of securing your business. Again, I've said this before, it's your livelihood, it's your employees' livelihood, right? This is what pays the bills, this is what keeps the lights on. Take this stuff seriously. You don't have to wait for the White House to tell you it's a problem, but if that's what it took, please pay attention and respond to it.
All right, Travis. So to summarize all of this, to break it down 30 seconds or less, let's make IT simple. With all of the things that we've seen from the government, with the warnings that we've gotten directly from the White House to businesses, warning them about their cybersecurity, what businesses need to heed that warning?
Every business needs to heed that warning because every business owner is responsible for their business and making sure their information technology is secure and up to speed. But obviously, the more critical your infrastructure, the more people are going to rely on it. But again, the answer: everybody should take security seriously.